accusation, trying to put Baron against me. Some say for an imposter and bliss with imitation, and how I trying to sound just like him. But I would like to let those people know, for 14 long years Baron did leave and go. 1979 is when I came on the scene. Then Baron came back in, but I don't sound like the Baron. For your information, the Baron don't sound like me. So when I'm singing my tune and you hear a sweet croon, I'm just being me. Even when I'm dressed in some fancy style of fashion, or wearing some costly jewelry, the top of the see me talking to 4, 5 women. They just say I trying to be like you, but it's one thing that they don't understand. Baron love Indian and plenty action. I just love nice things and I am being friendly. Yes, it makes me happy, but I don't look like the Baron. And if I should mention Baron Monashi,
A pleasant good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen.
you see me looking nice and dandy, I'm just being me.
It is another wonderful day in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. It is the 19th day of September 2023. Wherever you're at right now, whatever you're doing,
I am Baron Rogers,
message someone,
brother.
call someone,
We think that's the way that it ought to
tag someone, let them know that Royalty James is on, the class is in session.
in husband. I decide to make a controversy. Even reporters and all join the group. And the question is, what more gold than
A pleasant good afternoon to persons in every respective parish.
done? They just see,
Good afternoon to the persons listening to me regionally.
but I don't.
To my lovely people in the diaspora, pleasant good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Baron don't have gold like me.
It is HOTTSUMEMPEOY in Grenada. Hot, man.
Being me.
I'm not going to give you the privilege this evening to listen to the entire song. A pleasant good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen, and we are ready to start this evening's session. I pray that everybody would have had a wonderful day. To the persons on my YouTube page that are already there, a pleasant good evening to you guys. It would be another communicative afternoon, another informative afternoon. It will be another factual afternoon. And I want to say welcome to each and every person that are here. Barry, good afternoon to you. I realize you're eating figure provision and saltfish right now, so you're in a whole different conversation. But good afternoon to you, Barry. Good afternoon to you. I know many of you guys started calling for me. You all didn't see me for a few days, and it was not that I was not available. You understand me? As I said to you guys, last Thursday I had a funeral to attend, and so I did that. And you know I don't normally do classes on Friday and on Mondays. You understand? Although I tried to do it on a Monday, but yesterday was definitely out of the question. So I'm apologizing now, and I want to ensure that today's class make up for the days that I missed. All right. I want to start today and want to start in the sessions going forward by giving a quote to start every session, and so maybe those quotes may assist you guys in some way or the other. Today's quote say, "I hope you know you're capable and significant even when it feels like you're not." Let me take that again. It says, "I hope you know that you're capable and significant even when it feels like you're not. All right. I know there are days when you get up from bed and you feel daunted, or you're down spirited, or so on. And that one day, or you're high at your workplace and you've been having such productive weeks of the past, and maybe that one day you decided, nah, I didn't win my quota. Still know to yourself that you're still significant, and the work that you're doing, or whatever you're doing, you are still significant, and that does not daunt your spirit in any way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I know it has been a very communicative past few days. Many persons, many conversations, have been heard and surrounding so many things. Extended congratulations and job well done to the organ of the police force in the clarion call in terms of getting, or should I say, arresting the individual who is presently allegedly responsible for the death of John T. Robinson. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it means that sometimes the voice of the people is significant, and it sounds further than we think it goes. But ladies and gentlemen, with all that being said, I still, and as I said, congratulations on the job done by the RGPF. But I have a serious problem that I need to address today when it comes to the Oregon Police Force that I have seen in the past few weeks. I don't know what is the levels of confidentiality that goes on within the organization. I know definitely when I joined, I know we took an oath as it relates to confidentiality and being able to be confidential in many aspects, especially involving investigations and things carried out within the Oregon Police Force. But of late, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen some surprisingly new things happening within the RGPF. And I deem it to be lack of confidentiality from higher echelons and the persons who are responsible for keeping the confidentiality of the RGPF at a certain standard. Now, the very first one that alarmed me is, I don't know how it happened or when it happened, ladies and gentlemen, but I am seeing news clipping of the shooting incident that had happened in Woburn. The individual's phone conversation, ladies and gentlemen, was made public. Now, this is alarming. This is very alarming. Let me tell you why it is alarming. Now, normally, when you look at things on the news and so on abroad, when you see things like 48 hours and other things like that, listen to me. This is a stage programming most of the times when the investigation has been completed. Most of the times when those investigations are completed, they normally give insights to different media companies to do their broadcasting. Now, this incident happened last Monday. And so, information from the victim's phone is now being made public during the investigation process of this incident. People, this is alarming. And I am talking confidential enough that it was a WhatsApp conversation between the victim and some person. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is being made public by one of our media houses. I don't blame the media houses, because if the information come to them and you want to bring reliability to your media, this is not something that you would want to reject. Now, at the end of the day, my question is, how did this information, how did that phone information, and realize that I'm ponging on the issue of phone conversation, is now being made public in such a capacity that it was a WhatsApp conversation? So this is not an allegation that says somebody called somebody or somebody informed somebody. But this is a WhatsApp conversation. No, this is not a situation whereby the victim or somebody saying he was talking to me on the phone and this is what he said to me. This is not that. You're seeing an actual WhatsApp conversation held between the victim and someone. It has to be information leaked from the investigation. You can't dump it anywhere else. Only if somebody else found this phone and gave it to the media. It is really, really, really alarming, ladies and gentlemen. And let me say to you this. When these things are happening, the reluctance to go to the police continues to rise. Now, last Friday, the information was made public that they was going to have a press conference by 3 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not, before that press conference happened, I had information, reliable information, from someone who is not a police officer, not someone that is involved in no way with the investigation process, but gave me detailed alleged information about the individual being brought to BBC Beach, so on and so forth. My question is, ladies and gentlemen, now the process of an investigation, when the police is giving information as it relates to the process of an investigation, and when the completion of an investigation happens, that is two different things. For the first time in years, I heard the Royal Grenada Police Force make it public that an individual will be charged for an offense by conducting a press conference. This is the first time in years I have seen it. And listen to how I am speaking. It is the first time in years I have seen it. The process I know from the Royal Grenada Police Force normally goes, there is an individual in custody assisting police in this investigation. The investigation process will continue, and as fast as the investigation process continues, we are going to give the public more information. For the first time, the Royal Grenada Police Force made it public that an individual will be charged within the next how much hours? No, this is alarming. This to me is putting the cat in front of the horse. An investigation process of a murder, ladies and gentlemen, is very ticklish. Very ticklish situation. You understand me? Now, let me tell you what could have happened. Yes, an individual walk into the station and he or she says to you, X, Y, or Z. Now, in words, and you might not have taken it down in writing or so on. And then that individual, within the next 2 hours, 1 hour, says to you that I gave this statement or made this statement under duress. Duress meaning they was not comfortable. Somebody promised them something, they were beaten, so on and so forth. This is what amounts to duress. And so, you want the entire process of an investigation carried out before publicizing. You can't make it public that you are going to charge somebody. No. Charge the person and so that the investigation process happens. Because you can't say to me that this investigation was completed. Because you're saying to the general public, ladies and gentlemen, that you are going to charge this person. That is what you come and said. This is what you made public. So I don't think that was something professionally done. Right? We applaud, as I said, the investigation process. Right? But I don't think this is something that should be habitual. Because there are many persons who are more intelligent in terms of understanding the legislation of this country. And so, the process to an investigation ought to be completed by the investigator or investigators. And so, then you can make it public that, hey, this person is arrested. come and tell the general public in a press conference for whatever reason that it was done. I mean, we weren't read. No, you had the perpetrator. You maybe have some form of information, confidential information, that he is the person responsible. And so that is in your information. That is your information to keep. We weren't read. The person is in custody. And so a press conference could have been held yesterday about the person being arrested. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the process of the investigation could have been one that you need not to be made public unless you carry out that full arrest. Because as I said, there are many processes to an investigation. And yes, an individual may come and say, yes, me that do it. And we've seen it many times. Go through every other levels of investigation and you would hear a person saying, yes, they said yes. But then later on down the road, they start saying no. So I just want to suggest to the Royal GPF that in the future, I mean, we applaud such a wonderful job done, right? And so we want to continue in the same vein. I think there are other cases that are in the process of investigation still, and so persons have not been arrested. You understand me? These whole processes, and we know for a fact that it is one that can weigh out. We don't know the process of an investigation. It could be worn out, and so we want all you to take your time. Take all your time and do those investigations for us, please and thanks. You understand me? I know there are many persons that would now start making clarion call, and more cases would come about. I think there is no, I think one is speaking as it relates to also Donna Alexis. That's another unsolved crime. So we know that there will be other things that is on your plate. You understand me? But as I said, I think this should not be something that should be practiced again. I think the process of an investigation ought to be completed and arrests be done. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to ensure that you get it right. You understand me? We want to get it right. And that is all we're saying. We don't want it next thing you have a slip up. You understand me? We don't want you to have a slip up and the individual wise up or his lawyer or so on and so forth. You understand me? The other thing I want to touch slightly on that case and it's information surrounding the case. We don't know whether or not it is factual. Right? And one of the things I think one of the media houses made public, jointly, briefly, is speaking as it relates to what is the cause of death, what succumbed to the injury to cause the death. Now, let me say this. The probability exists, ladies and gentlemen, that if this is the confession made, the charge could be dropped. And let's be realistic. Let me just say murder in itself, one of the points or the main point to prove murder is that it must be intended. I wanted to do this. This was my full intention to do this. Right? This is what I wanted to do. And so this is what murder surrounds. Right? Now, when it comes to manslaughter, that is something different. No, this was not my intention, but this is what happened, and so it was fatal. So there's a vast difference between manslaughter and murder, and in the circumstances in which I'm hearing that is surrounding the cause of death, more than likely, ladies and gentlemen, the charges may be dropped. No, I don't have all the facts in front of me. Let me put that so, right? But if we're saying that what we heard, you understand me? That information that is being disseminated, ladies and gentlemen, as it relates to what is the cause of death. Because, I mean, in this circumstance, we have heard of things like that before. And so, I don't think it is the intent of the individual to have killed the individual. And if so, I think that again in itself is one of the crimes that should, be looked at. You understand? This is one of the, not the crime, sorry, but the offense is another thing that we need to look at. And if this is the information surrounding the case, no, manslaughter, to me, was a better preferred charge, but however, it brings a minimal or a lesser sentence. Understand that this is just information on ground. This year that I'm giving is not factual information because I don't have in front of me the question and answer that was taken from the alleged individual, but it is just one that I wanted to put out there. All right, so we're moving on nicely, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a very smooth evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let us evict the problem that we are being faced with now, because you all know what's my policy as of late. My policy as of late, if you come to, give, proper insights for the whole conversation that is being held, then fine, right? But when you start coming with your derogative statements and disrespect, you are going to be put out of the class. You wouldn't even go stand up in the back with your chair on your head. You're going out of the class in its entirety. Ban you from everything. You understand me? So this is one of the things that I've taken up on. If you come and you're supporting your other side and you're giving your points and you're sharing your ideas, then that is accepted. But you see, when you come and start calling names and disrespecting people about murder and these things, it wouldn't be allowed. All right? So we going. There's new rules written for the new school year ahead. You understand me? So yeah, he was put out. Banned too. He can't even come around the school and tell me security see me locking the gate. Right? So ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on. Why cap it at 15 when you can get it for less? Ladies and gentlemen, when you speak of incompetence, inexperience, not understanding the process of what politics and politicians should carry, you would not understand a lot of things. Let me say to you this. As long as Dr. Mitchell remains in politics, you may not stop hearing the conversation as it relates to that briefcase. Be true or not. Well, it was proven that is not true. When politicians make statements, they ought to understand the statements that are being made. When supporters make statements, they ought to understand the time that the statement was made. And hence the reason why you don't find me as one of the persons that beat on certain things. Because, you see, I think the concept of understanding politics goes way beyond just supporting a side. You understand me? Sometimes you need to bring justificational reasoning to what you're doing. Because I wouldn't be happy as it relates to gas prices going up. I wouldn't even start pointing fingers at government in any kind of way, but I would suggest to government that you can do something in order to suffice, cushion, more or less, the effects of the consumers. And so, a few years back, we had this, ladies and gentlemen, when gas in Grenada was only $12.00. Take a listen to this. Listen to this carefully.
Yeah.
He says there is too much tax on fuel and gas.
The importers of petroleum products, they are taxed when they bring in that stuff. Then at the pumps, the government is actually taking $5.50 directly from all citizens who take every gallon of gas or purchase any gallon of gas you purchase at the pumps in all the gas stations. So if the government reduces the amount of tax received there, the government has to become more creative. We cannot tax our way out of this crisis. Grenadians are hurting, Grenadians are suffering. And I am saying, if they lower the amount of taxes they're taking directly at the pump, at least by $3, at least we're going to see a reduction. But they're not doing that. They're taxing the importers. They're taxing the people who are consuming the gas, who are purchasing the gas at the gas station. What you expect? You expect that the gas price will be sky high compared to the other countries. In fact, the other countries are also applying taxes on the gas, but yet still, it's far cheaper than Grenada.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was when gas prices was $12.00 in our lovely country, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And we heard one of our zealot citizens lone protest that was recorded in front of the bus terminus as he stood when gas prices was only $12.98 in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. He stood alone on a hot day in front of the bus terminus, making that clarion call that government reduce the taxation at the gas pump. No, ladies and gentlemen, would you believe that this same individual is in support of government while gasoline is now in excess of $16? So from the time this was recorded to date, there is a recorded of at least $3 plus cents as it relates to gas. And today, the same individual is now blinded that gas prices is $16 when he spoke. Not too long after that, the past administration placed a cap on gas prices with his suggestion and his protest. He wasn't in support of that, but government made it fit that sometime after that they capped gas prices. Now he rubs shoulder with the sitting prime minister while gas prices is $16 and he sits on a program and tell Grenadian people that this is the best administration ever. This is the best administration ever. But the worst one was when gas was $12. Now it is $16. And this is the best administration. The suggestion given, listen to the nice words again. I like to play it twice.
He says there is too much tax on fuel.
Ladies and gentlemen, when that was recorded, gas prices in Grenada was $12.90. Diesel was $11.50. That was that. This is the time. Somebody do the math for me. Calculate for me the difference between $12.90 and the today date. The today's date as it relates to gasoline. When the brother took it on his own.
Gas.
The importers of petroleum products, they are taxed when they bring in that stuff. Then at the pumps, the government is actually taking $5.50 directly from all citizens who take every gallon of gas or purchase any gallon of gas you purchase at the pumps in all the gas stations. So if the government reduces the amount of tax received there, the government has to become more creative.
So you hear the nice ideas, you hear suggestions and how eloquent those suggestions came across. You heard how nice they made it sound while they were government in waiting. He had all the plans, all the suggestions, all the answers, everything, ladies and gentlemen, that he expected government to do. He had all the nice ideas, brothers and sisters. You think government should do that? Government should do this, government should do that. But this administration went into governance with a cap of $15. It meant that gas prices at no point in time would have surpassed $15 because the past administration cushioned the effect for consumers when they go to the pump. The past administration did that. This administration removed it. And it is now going into the 16, and continues to climb, because if you look at the international graph as it relates to oil and gas, you would realize that we may be seeing a spike as the year ends. But ladies and gentlemen, this individual today is blinded. Can't see that. How you gonna see that? How you gonna see that? You can't see that. Because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, and I always have said this, when your party that you support waits on governance, you ought to be careful what you bring out. Because I mean, if at $12 you did a loan protest, well, I am expecting at $16 I am expecting more persons now with you. And on your program, you could make reference to them that you did it when it was $12.90. But you can't do it when it is $16 and rising. Hypocrisy, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is. Blatant hypocrisy. Because at the end of the day, hence the reason why I tell a lot of persons that you see when it comes to political conversation, I am open-minded because I can openly say, without any doubt, when something is good, I would say, listen to me, this administration, I don't support, but government made a bold step. Government did this. Government did that. I am open to this. But you see, when you bar yourself into political captivity, believing that the only thing that you could see is the good of your party or whom you support, you can't speak. You can't speak. You're left mute. With the ability to communicate, you're left mute. Because at the past, you stood up. You said what you had to say. But now, you're mute when things are even at a worst stage. Or even more expensive. So you see, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, they go come. As I said to all you, every time I come, I bring the facts to them. So I didn't come to you all saying, oh, you remember when he did that? No. I played it for you when he did it. The date and time recorded. By the time it was CC6 News who brought it. So when they come with the information, revert them to these things. But no, all you going below the thing and comment, and then all you starting this conversation, and then all you reach on each other, mother and father and husband and wife. I don't give them that privilege. So what I do, I bring the facts to them. I bring the information most substantiable to them. Government have a responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, for when things are rocketing, and most persons go say, oh, this is on the high, this is on the rise, cost of living is high. This is accepted. This, ladies and gentlemen, is accepted. But hence the reason why in most countries where democracy is exercised, the expectation from the people who elected is that government is going to come up with some way or the other to suffice, to help, to aid in the effect as it relates to what me as the consumer getting. So, sugar could go $100 around the world. But think about our salaries. Think about our basic living. Would you accept a Grenadian to buy it at $100? No. And so at times, government need to implement things in order to suffice, cushion, help, aid in what consumers get. Hence the reason why I am making a clarion call for those things. Bus operators, government should speak with them. These men at this stage must be having a conversation. You must have a conversation with them. Because now you have gas prices going up. Plus, there is no compensation for them as it relates to when they go to the tire shop and different places that they're getting it at a different price. And you see, when you do those things, as I said, the aid in this, the push behind this is that government cushions the effect. That is simply what it is. I'm not expecting government to go and buy everybody gas. No, this is not the expectation. But like the past administration, you put a cap. You put a cap on it. So this would help, ladies and gentlemen. You understand me? So when they come with those tax, I'll tell you, just give them that. As I see persons was doing it last week or so, when they were posting what two of the individuals that support the party posted. One said, why cap it at 15 when we could get it for less? Other one said, since NDC come in power, gas price started going down. Well, it seems like NDC out of power now because it started to go back up. So you see, we ought to be careful. We ought to be careful what we post and when we post it. You understand me? And you see, again, and I am not jotting to what Che would have asked, but you see the excitement. You see the headlines in excitement. So we saw an headline today as it relates to wages, basic pay wages. I have not gone through the entire documentation as yet, understanding what could be its advantages and disadvantages. So I'm waiting. But you see, once they see it, it jumps at them, not understanding the effects. Because some of the things that I'm looking at, some of the things that I'm looking at here, what is the disadvantage there? Immediately, what jumps at you? Yes, it benefits the employee, right? But what is the cushion, or what is it that the employer is not going to say? Because remember, this is not adjustment made by government. This is not government workers, you know. This is not people that government pays. Most of the things labeled, they are private entities. Most of the things there are private entities. Look at that, first and foremost. No, government can't dictate to me that I need to do that or I have to do that. The government could make the suggestion as it relates to wages. I know there are laws that can be put in place. I don't know. And again, remember, you would see those things there, but I mean, I know it must be legislated. So if you're going to labor now, I don't know if it needs to be passed in cabinet or parliament. I think cabinet can pass something like that. So if it is passed in cabinet, or whether or not it's going to get an approval, you understand me? So I don't know. And again, I can stand to say this. I am open enough to say this. If it has been confirmed, now at the end of the day, as I'm saying, and somebody rightfully said it. You understand me? Job cuts. Job cuts. This is what is going to happen. Job cuts. Persons are not going to just jump up and say, yeah, boy, well, I will employ more persons. No. And man go say, what, boy? A job I could have do it with I go fight up and do my job with two persons. I send in home the other three. We have to look at things in a different prospect and a different light. Does it mean that our work industry has grown significantly? Let's be honest. To the many persons, if 100 persons maybe was sent home for the past year and 4 months, maybe at least 15, 20 of them that might have gotten a job. Most on a lesser salary. So all the nice things that we see go up there, all the nice things that we see go up there for the employee. But what effect does it cause on the employer? So you see, and I don't go through it yet, and I just looked at it, and that is one of the things that jumped to mind. Persons are now going to move down from 5 to 2, 5 to 3, 10 to 6. And that is the facts. You can run from that. Bosses now in bakery and so on, you believe that when a man could have said, well, okay, I'll leave these 5 persons to work. You're mad, he let him go 3 and come and work for himself. You understand me? So we ought to weigh and balance a lot of the things when we see it being made public. Let we understand the whole process of it. Yes, it is placed out there. I don't know, I didn't look at the press conference or the press briefing, to see whether or not it has been confirmed or passed in Parliament or Cabinet, so forth. But whether or not it is or isn't, this is one of the first things that jumped to me. Right? No men walking the bus for themselves. They don't even need a conductor again. Right? Because a man go say, me have to be conductor 120 and 140 and so on and so forth. And I'm just saying, I'm not speaking conductor per se, but these are the things that persons are going to say. Because the cost of living is high. And if a man has to pay you more when he could do it himself, what do you think he's going to do? He will pay you? No, he's going to pay. He's going to release you, right? And you see, you ought to know. We need. The fact of the matter is, we do need a lot of adjustment in basic wages, but let us point them out where we know the industry is more effective. I am congratulating the construction part of it, because ever so often persons build houses. There is construction happening. There's construction happening all around the world, and so I'm not around the world, around Grenada, sorry. And so when we see that is applauded. So when you're doing those things, you must weigh and balance as it relates to which industry has a higher employment, as a higher employer. Those are the things that you're looking at. So you maybe talk to Queens and those persons. You understand me? But a man without a registered business tell you come and give me like a pull out by your house, you feel he giving you 120? We need to take those things into consideration, because to me, I believe those things are more for registered constructive companies, and so they are basically the ones, paying tax. You understand me? When you give a man a contract with government, those are the things. But we know how construction's happening in Grenada. But I have like a thing doing up there, You don't come and give me like a help, you go help joke thing. You don't walk in no way, so but I'll make you a helper. What gives the individual the right now, without having not paying in NIS and all these things, and the business not, what is causing him or her to say to you, I giving you $60, I giving you $70. All right? So those are the things that we need to consider. But anyways, it strayed from what I wanted to, what I was, speaking about, right? Now, I tell you all, you don't read me mind, I was not going to announce the gentleman's name, right? But I'm going to address the issue on a different level, right? Now, we have seen in recent days the dissatisfaction with the mother involving the car incident with Ron Redhead and that young man, and how vile she has been about the whole situation. She's upset. Now, I think it is only right. Now, the National Democratic Congress as a party has a public relation. We know that they have a public relation. And so we're hearing two sides of the story. And it is really not spelling good. I don't know if the minister is not seeing it, but it really is not spelling good for him. Right? It does not look good on your end, Minister Redhead. Let me tell you why. Now, you need not to give justification as to the accident. That is not your role. This is the police to investigate and give that judgment. However, I think it is only man enough. It is only right as a minister of government, as a grown man, and something of that is happening. I think the rightful thing to happen is that you meet with the individual. Maybe you get your lawyer, you are allowed to have a sit down, and you all speak about this. I really don't see the reason why you would allow someone to blot the dissatisfaction to that extent, and not even, because we don't want you to come and make it public. My call here is not that, you go on some press conference or you go to GBN. No. My thing here, you take the individual to maybe your office, maybe traffic headquarters, go into the officer's office, or maybe your lawyer, or so on and so forth, and you caution this issue. I really don't see the reason why this is dragging so long with so many allegations going around, because it smells bad for you on the notion that this individual is actually from your constituency. The individual is manifesting that she elected you. She selected you. Right? And you are not even protecting the political scope of it. Because, she's mentioning what she's mentioning. you're not saying nothing. And then there are some persons who's fueling their anger on the mere fact that they're claiming that they're supporting you. So it seems like, okay, that is your side of people. And still, you're not even saying, well, stop it. It doesn't make any sense. So my call in this whole situation, Minister Ron Redhead, is that you sit with these individuals, and if it means, because it's an accident, it happens. Accidents do happen. Most are unavoidable. And so I think that the whole process of this investigation can come to an end. Maybe if you say to the individuals, well, you know what, I'm going to take up this responsibility and do X or Y. And most of the times what happens in situations like this, people, the police is going to take all the information, statements, or whatever, so forth or so forth. And it ends there. But I'm certain at this stage, the investigation would be carried out. And so, if you're not charged, then fine. But I believe this is not about right or wrong in the situation, or whether or not you did or didn't bounce it. I believe it's just, this is an individual that is involved. This is not a dog you bounce. And the owner just want $200 to bury it or whatever. You allowed this to go too far. And you see, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I remember when I spoke earlier on, I said, the focus there should not be who right or wrong in the accident. The focus there is an individual who succumbed to injury. One, the age of the individual, who's a very young man, right? Plus, taking into consideration that, hey, this is the Minister of Youth. There is so many things that should have jumped out to the minister on the notion that, hey, listen to me, let me deal with that in a peaceful manner so that it does not reach there. Right? Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Because, at the end of the day, it could have been, God forbid, it could have been somebody that the young man could have died. Let's take it to mean that. Right? And so there is so many things that we don't have to reach to an offense, like somebody getting charged. Right? But it would reach to the point where you're man enough, or somebody is man enough to say, listen to me, Mr. Redhead, let me get a lawyer. Let me speak to that young lady with a lawyer, because you need to protect your capacity too also. Because you don't want to go to her and just say to her, well, you know what, I'll give her $200. No. Based on the chair in which you sit, you want to protect everything that aligns with it. And so you will say to the individual, listen to me, on Monday you can come see me in my office at 2:30. I will bring my lawyer with you and with me. Any medical information that you have, please carry it with you. And any information medically going forward, you could take it over. So even it's a Panadol, and she brings a receipt and so on and so forth, you just cover that. But you look at the way this reach. What, on the notion that you don't want to stand up as a man to just say, listen to me. I realize that person, because it's person's fueling now. It's person's fueling now. I'm not saying that the minister is saying anything, but they're saying it in support of him. And he's not even saying to them, yo, listen to me. I'm not, this person are not speaking on my behalf. This is not my intention. But you're remaining silent. And most of the times you hear people say, silence is consent. And I believe that the focus, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost there, ladies and gentlemen, should be the young man involved. And that is it. That is it. The young man and his well-being. That is it. You need not to let that prolong to the level in which he has gone to. And I pray that well, I don't believe, based on the mother's live with my good friend, and if she's listening, I want to say good afternoon to her. And if you're close to her, tell her say good afternoon. But the stage she's angry. She's angry, and people that are ignorant is bringing out arrogance in her based on the information that they're just blotting out. I won't have my child and persons come and tell me, charge me child. My child I don't gonna bed sick. You understand me? You understand me? I don't think that is the proper way. However, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say congratulations. I don't know. I believe the National Democratic Congress have one seat in Parliament. One seat. They won the election, but they have one seat in Parliament because, I mean, you're seeing Minister Andy Williams are asking persons within the tongue of St. George to go assist Sister Claudette Joseph on a cleaning campaign. Yo, I believe sooner or later I would watch Comic View and I would see starring the National Democratic Congress. I believe, ladies and gentlemen, persons ought to know their lines. They need to know their lines. I'm seeing persons, mentioning that Miss Claudette Joseph is the caretaker for the tongue of St. George. Oh, you can't be the caretaker. You're the candidate for the National Democratic Congress. Oh, caretaker, who are you taking care of? You are either to be addressed as the candidate for the National Democratic Congress or the Minister of Legal Affairs. Seen persons say she's the caretaker. Caretaker, you don't caretaker for somebody. You either address them by the constituency, in which she would have represented it as a candidate, because she's definitely not the parliamentary representative, and you need to understand that. Or you could say, well, Senator Claudette Joseph. I've seen persons saying the caretaker. You ought to know you. And the thing about it, they just beat up on Brother Mosquito Man so much sometimes when he makes his little errors, that sometimes people send things for me and I give a listening ear, and if I am on the notion as it relates to plain English teacher, I would have gone at them, because the other time the verb and the subject don't agree also, and the things that they address. But I understand sometimes you talking, and listen to me. This here communication is to the understanding, and I bring that out to Brother Mosquito Man. Communication is to the understanding. Bro, you don't always get it right. Some people have that ability. Born with that. You see me? I could talk for 3 hours straight. I'm going to fidget, say something, but I'm speaking on that, and that is what I'm speaking on. People have that ability. I never went to no college and university for it. It's just embedded in me. And there are people like that. Maurice Bishop, Barack Obama, natural speakers. Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, natural. Deacon Mitchell, natural. It comes to you. It's just in you to eloquently be able to communicate or dialogue with individuals by ensuring that you establish the information in which you wish to disseminate by not having any fortitude of knowing what the hell you're speaking about, but you could speak. And that is what I just did. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's understanding. Communication is understanding. And so there are times when you do this, and hence the reason why when you do this sometimes you're trying to ensure that your audience understand what you're saying. You know, many times you're listening to a program and somebody says something and you correct it yourself. Somebody says something on the TV and you say it. It means that they didn't say what you want them to say, but you understand what was being said. This is what is important. This is what is important. They may not saying or may not be saying what they ought to say, but if you could correct them, it means that you're understanding what has to be said. That's communication. That's communication, and hence the reason whenever persons come with this whole thing about intellect and conversation and being able to talk, and being able to spell and so on. Some of them that sits in office and so on, and when you see the handwriting, Papa, you have to blink your eye. And I could tell you that. Ask them to write anything. Ask them to give you anything handwritten. And see. Crapo. Walk across a page. Jump in. Look at the spelling and the pronunciation and not pronunciation, sorry, but the lettered. How they're being lettered. The punctuations. Right? Somebody said 50-0 we taking next time. I like it you didn't say next 5 years. I'm glad you didn't say next 5 years, Glenda Robinson. Next time. That could be next week, Monday. Week after Friday. It could be either way, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So as we boil along in this evening's communication, I would have seen the documentation as it relates to the wages. I will be, going through it thoroughly because, and the first thing that jumped to me, two things that jumped to me, and let me be realistic. Very good gesture, excellent gesture, and let me put it out there. Wonderful move by the organization, by the administration. I'm not going to kick it up. Just like pension payments, just like every other thing, I came openly and I said, hey, you understand me? No problem. But then there are times I see nothing wrong in saying, listen to me, we could have done this, that, or that. I don't expect government to change it, but you have to give what is probable. What is probable? They did it. I'm not afraid to tell them that they did it. During the time of the past administration, they did it. Oppose everything. From the time something came up, they brought the disadvantages to it. And so there is nothing wrong in bringing the disadvantages to it. Right? There is nothing wrong in doing this. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, that in itself is what is important. You bring it across, and it is okay. You made it public, and so we can scrutinize it. And two of the things that jumped to me, as I said, very good gesture. And then the other part of it, I see employers are going to sometimes be reluctant because you have to understand. Right now, what do you give for employment? How reluctant employers going to be now to take more people, having now to pay more money? Right? And sometimes you take people and you give them 2-3 months pay and you realize yourself by that person is a waste of time. You understand me? So it is what it is. And as I said, I will go through the documentation. And tomorrow I'll try to shake the tree to see what falls out. All right? Mosquito Man is in class asking what did he miss. The most important thing that you miss, brother, and as I said that, and I called your name, I said to them, and I realized it has beat upon you a lot. Communication, brother, is giving to the listener and understanding what the person speaking is saying. You have to be fancy and well pronounced, misspelled words and so on. They're jumping around with that. Jumping around with it. I've seen it all over. But ladies and gentlemen, whenever Mosquito Man speak and you understand the point in which he's trying to bring across, he may not sound, as I said, all eloquent as others. But sometimes you sit and you comment. So it means, yeah, but I understand what he say. Some of them speak and Papa kind of old people. Poof, where? All right. So it was a lovely evening, ladies and gentlemen. It was a lovely, lovely, lovely evening. I want to say good afternoon to the persons over on my YouTube page. I am happy that you guys are always there and always listening and always tuned in. I always like that you guys are there. And you know what? I have to put that out. I have to put it out because you see the persons over on my Facebook page, you don't see that. But my views on on YouTube is presently 268. You understand that? My views, concurrent viewers, 141, meaning persons that are always there. And my views at 268. And if I go over to to my Facebook page, it's only 100. You understand me? So that's the reason why I tell you guys I gotta always big up my people on my YouTube page. And some of you all who are on Facebook, you can still go subscribe on my YouTube page. There's nothing wrong. Just click and follow or like, and you're over there. Because there are times I tell you, Facebook, we come here and it is sometimes Facebook doing what he wants. And there are certain songs that you want to play and you can't play it because, Facebook is going to shoot it down. And there are days like that, right? With me, I try to be very, very, very careful with what I play. So then both Facebook and YouTube can be viewed. But there are days we do have difficulties with that. So I'm saying there are days you might be on YouTube and Facebook, and it just cuts off. But if you have both, then you could just say, hey, I don't miss nothing, man. Let me go over on the other side. All right? So fear not. It is always good to be on both sides. All right? And I know some persons are actually on both sides. You understand me? Ms. Marilyn Ferguson is one of those persons. And so I want to say good evening to you, Ms. Ferguson. So Mosquito Man is saying these people doesn't have the testicles and fortitude to use their pages to speak on the issues. That's the whole problem. You hear what? The fortitude and testicular. Oh my goodness. I love you, bro. When the US passed $17 minimum wage, employees laid off their workers. So there are pros and cons to the issue. And that is, you see, open-minded thinking. Oh my goodness, I love my students. Your name Wolfgang Rockefellers. That is open-minded thinking. When government do something, not because you support them, you jump up. Yeah. There are pros and cons to those things. There are things that are at advantage and disadvantages. All right. So I want to big up the persons on my YouTube page again. Thank you for always viewing. And the persons in Carriacou, I feel I should go and I will think about it. However, ladies and gentlemen, the NMP Carriacou and PT Martinique branch, they present a bingo night that is $500. That's on the 30th of September. The jackpot is $500 and many more cash prizes. It starts at 8 p.m. Tickets are only $20. Sunrise Disco Winwood music by top DJs. Instant drinks will be on sale, ladies and gentlemen. So don't be scared to be a part of this one. Anybody want to go Carriacou in that? I'll go tell me. SBG Promotion, they present on Sunday, October 8th in the Water Day Cruise on the Rum Runner 2 boy. On that. Plain old mass. I mean, come on, man. It is only $70 that will get you on the inside. Music by Phyllis Kevin and Bomb Squad and Vicar. You can get your ticket from Bill, Skero, or Guy. All right? And you would be on the inside. Don't forget G Buggers, ladies and gentlemen. Wolfgang Rockefeller, are you in Grenada? Based on that statement you made today, I find I want to give you a bugger. Compliments G Bugger. You understand me? I want to give you one of those lovely, lovely buggers from G Buggers. They're located on Wall Street in St. George's. The number to call is 536-7375 and you can get yourself a bugger. Simply go there and say, listen to me. I was listening to the ClassRoom program. I was listening to Prince's program, and you get yourself a bugger. I have persons that can testify to that. Just go there and say that. So Rockefeller, if you're in Grenada and you can go get your bugger, then feel free. If you're not in Grenada, somebody said, teacher Mimi, I love their buggers. I know you love them. Right? If you're not in Grenada, feel free to call someone and say to them, listen to me, go get a bugger. I want a bugger while listening to the classroom. All right? We're presently also working on somebody who does soup. Right? So we may just have another sponsor to the show. So we're starting to build things will happen. You understand me? So we have G Buggers at present, and we're working on one of the soup persons who normally make soup on a daily basis. Well, not on a daily basis, on Tuesdays to Saturdays. And you would be able to get yourself soup maybe in the not too distant future. So we're working on something. All right. Horse 5.0, we present, I can't say they because I'm part of the group. I want to come day cruise all inclusive aboard the catamaran. It is $120. Sailing at 2 p.m. Boat leaves at 3. It is Sunday, October 1st. DJ Ash, DJ Graphics, and your MC, Royalty James. I would be there also. All right. Rachel presents, and this one is for a very, very, very worthy cause. I must say that is a fundraising luncheon. It is on the 30th of September 2023 at 11 a.m. I already got myself my 2 tickets. There will be macaroni pie, rice and peas, cuckoo and grain salad, chicken $15, pork $20, fish $20. To purchase tickets, you can contact 414-7615 or 533-6154. Drinks would be on sale. As I mentioned, it is for a worthy cause, so please feel free to call the number that I just called out, and you can book yourself to get yourself be a part of that luncheon. All right, the individual is presently going through the process of treating cancer, and so it's really for a worthy cause, really, really worthy cause. Anytime I hear cancer, it jumps at me because I would have lost my mom due to cancer in 2015, so it's really dear to me. So when somebody says they have cancer, I know how deadly that can be. It took me just about 21 days or so to lose my mom from chemotherapy to passing away. So I know how it is. I hope you can get McDonald's and Burger King as sponsor of your magnificent podcast. Thank you so very much. I wish they can get them also. So then maybe the persons in America, maybe I'll send something. Maybe I'll send something to them so the persons in the diaspora can benefit also, So that would be a great sponsor, man. That would be a great sponsor. But however, I try my best, for that. All right. I want to say hello to the persons that are listening for the first time. I usually don't do this because there are persons that jump on for the first time. They hear about the classroom and they wanna be a part of it. And so I want to say good evening. Special. Is there anybody in the class that is attending for the first time? Anybody? And if you're attending for the first time, we welcome you. We show you love. Always come back. There is only love in the classroom. Only love we have in the classroom, man. There are persons here, they're vicious. You understand? And also the persons that are celebrating, and I keep saying that. All right, so wow, there are 2 persons listening for the first time. Wow. So we have 3 persons that are listening for the first time. I do hope that you enjoyed. And you come again. It may not be, as I said, to what you really want. You understand me? So, if this is not the audience that you wish to entertain, I always say, this is you. All right, this is just you. All right, but if you're listening for the first time, I want to say a pleasant good afternoon and welcome to my podcast. Somebody saying I'm a real NMP voting for Kate. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to welcome. Look, give them a round of applause. You know what I'm saying? Show them some love. Give them some likes. Give them some love, some likes. For the first time being in part of the class, it is always good to have you guys. You understand me? Mattis they hear more than the man that owns Facebook. He likes the classroom. He doesn't get that level of energy. He doesn't get the opportunity to communicate when he listens to other programs. You see, when he comes to this program, he get a chance to dialogue and learn more. You understand me? And he's a student that I like. I'm willing to give him a prefect badge, but there are days he does go in dotish mood. You understand me? So I can't take the risk. Matthias James, all my love, my dear cousin. I hope you're having a wonderful day and God's blessings to you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is somebody say, okay. So the person who's here for the first time saying, give me your time and days you're on. I am usually on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. Right. I am on from 6 in the evening. If I am going to do it at a different day, I would inform. But those are the main days I usually do that. All right. And what I want to start to do too on my YouTube page, sometime I want to have the page running maybe for the entire day. So maybe some information, maybe won't hear my voice, but you may see or hear an audio or something on my YouTube page. If you're on my YouTube page, you might be able to get information for the entire day. All right. So we're working to improving, the ability to be part of politics. People are afraid to talk about politics. When people say, "Oh, I'm not into politics," listen to me. Politics is the everyday living, ladies and gentlemen. Politics is what gives to your everyday living. What moves, what decisions made, what is happening in your country. This is politics. Many persons believe politics is argument, and hence the reason why most persons stay away from politics. Politics is not argument. We can agree to disagree. You understand me? We can agree to disagree. We could be on either side of the table, but we can speak politics. Politics is the everyday life. You understand me? Everyday living, everyday life. It's part of life. Somebody's calling. That person want to talk to me privately. Let me try something new for the first time, somebody. Somebody's calling me, but I don't think my settings allow me to do that. But sometimes you have to try new things, eh? Hold on, let me see. Hello?
Hello? Yeah. Ada pongo me. How ticket, sir?
You're actually on live. Which ticket do you want to know the price of?
For the cruise.
Which one of the cruise?
For Aquaman.
Oh, the 1st of October. Well, that ticket is $120. That is for the all-inclusive day cruise, all right? So after I'll call you and give you more details, okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. You see, it's just about trying. You know, actually, somebody called me yesterday, though I am lying. Last week I was called, and somebody was saying to me, Prince, you can actually take calls on your program. And I was like, you know what to do. And I just remembered what they told me to do. And while I'm here and the call is coming, I just decided, let me try it and see what is going on. And there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So I believe we could communicate. That's amazing. That's amazing. I really didn't. I was not aware that I can actually do this. How lovely. How lovely. So yes, so ladies and gentlemen, all right. So I think we're way past the time that we could actually go up to. All right. So we're gonna end at this time, and I guess tomorrow we'll try taking a phone call tomorrow. We'll try something tomorrow, man. I mean, come on. I wonder if my persons on my YouTube page. Well, you see the number that is going across the screen. However, I believe it would only be on WhatsApp. So in order to get me, you would have to only call me on WhatsApp, because WhatsApp is hooked onto my laptop. So you would be able to get me only on WhatsApp. All right. So I want to say good afternoon again, and God's blessings to each and every one of you guys. We are going to see tomorrow again, and I think to the new discovery here in the classroom tomorrow, we are going to get interactive. However, I want to put that out there. All right, we want to say this out very early. Try not to be derogative. Try not to be defamating anyone's character. Try not to be insultive. Try not to be threatening. And this is what is going to be, just if you got to get onto my program. You understand me? So we are going to discuss. Remember, I am not going to be lengthy. If we're discussing something, I will just get your point of view and so on. We're not going to go too elaborative, because I normally have points. So, I mean, if you want to come sometime and pop a question, ask something, you understand me? And then we will take it from there. All right. So have yourself a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is yours truly, Royalty James, for another wonderful evening. God's blessings to each and every one of you. And we will see again tomorrow, if God permits us that health and strength and the opportunity to breathe the life that he has given to us as a gift, because it's a gift, and whenever you're ready to take it back, you go take it. All right. So to the life promised to each and every one of you by the Almighty God, I want to say thank you for giving me a listening ear, and have yourself a wonderful evening, ladies and gentlemen. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Trying to put Baron against me. Some say for an imposter into song just like you. But I would like to let those people know. For 14 long years, Baron did leave and go. 1979 is when I came on the scene. Then Baron came back in. But I don't sound like the Baron. For your information, the Baron don't sound like me. So when I'm singing my tune and you hear a sweet croon, I'm just being me. Even when I'm dressed in some fancy style or fashion, or wearing some costly jewelry, the top of the see me talking to